بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This is Math 101 Final Exam Term 221. Let us have a look to the exam and try to solve it together. The first 14 question 1 consists of 14 parts. Choose the best and the correct answer for all questions and put the correct answer in the table. So you have to put the correct answer here. If g of x is defined by this, what is g of negative 1? Of course, to find g of negative 1, you replace x by negative 1, but don't forget to put parentheses here, and you can use the calculator to find out that the answer is negative 2. If f of x equals 2x plus 7 and g of x equals x squared, then what is f circle g of x? Well, the definition is f of g of x. Then you replace g of x by its definition. G of x is defined to be x squared. Then you go to the function f and replace x in the function by x squared. So f of x is defined to be 2x plus 7. F of x squared would be 2x squared plus 7. You replace x in the definition of f by f squared. So that's the correct answer. The equation of the line with slope negative half and y-intercept 8. Well, if the equation is written in this form, the form is y equals mx plus b. That's the slope-intercept form. The coefficient of x is the slope, and the number, the constant, is the y-intercept. So if the slope is negative half, then it is negative half x, and the y-intercept is 8, so plus 8. So that's the correct equation. Well, he wrote it here, 8 minus half x. This is, of course, exactly equal to negative half x plus 8. If you have 1 minus 2, you can write it minus 2 plus 1. So the correct answer is C. The solutions of the quadratic equation is, well, you start by writing this quadratic equation in the standard form. You have 18x and 9x. So if you bring 9x to the other side, it would be 18 minus 9x, because you have 18x and 9x. You combine them together. 18 minus 9 is 9. So in fact, I'll have 2x squared plus 9x equals 0. And now you can take x as a common factor, and you will have 2x plus 9 equals to 0. So either x is 0 or 2x plus 9 is 0. So 2x equals negative 9, or x is negative 9 over 2. So this is the correct answer. Of course, you can use mod 5(3) here. You put a2, b9, and c0. You should get in the calculator these two solutions. The value of this function, the vertex of this parabola, you know, if the coefficient of x squared is positive, so this parabola opens upwards. And to find the vertex consists of h and k, and h is defined to be negative b over 2a. So a is the coefficient of x squared, so I have 2 times 1. And b is the coefficient of x, which is negative 2. I have negative b, so it would be 2. 2 over 2 is 1, so h is 1. The only answer with h 1 is D. So negative b over 2a. Yeah. 2 over 2, that's 1. So it should be this solution. To check, let us find k. Well, how to find k? We replace x by 1 here, because k is the y coordinate of h. Remember, the vertex is h and k. So if you know h, that's the value of x, in fact. So 1 minus 2 is -1 plus 8 is 7. So it is, the vertex is 1 and 7. And this is a piecewise function. How to find f of 0? Well, the definition would be x if x is less than or equal to 1. It would be 2x minus 1 if x is greater than 1. So you have to find out whether 0 is less than 1 or greater than 1. Of course, it is less than 1. So f of x would be x. That would be my definition. So f of 0 would be, I replace x by 0. So it would be 0. And the answer would be part B. The value of the element in the place A23. This is a matrix. Place A23 means second row, third column. So that's the second row, and that's the third column. So second row, third column, the element is -3. So the correct answer is A. This is D. What would be the transpose of D? To find D transpose, I write the rows as columns. So the first row is 5, 8. I write it as column. And the second row is 1, 4. I write it as column. So this is DT, transpose of D, minus the identity. The identity matrix 2 by 2 is 1, 0, 0, 1. If you subtract, 5 minus 1 is 4. 1 minus 0 is 1. 8 minus 0 is 8. 4 minus 1 is 3. So the matrix is 4, 1, 8, 3. That's the correct answer. Hong invests this amount in a retirement account with a fixed annual interest rate of 7%. So that's R. We write it as a decimal. And this is the principal. Okay. Compounded continuously. So you know that the formula would be S, the future value, equals P times e to the power RT. So we need, how long will it take for the account balance to reach $21,000? So S would be 21,337.85, and P is 8589, and we have e to the power 0.07, that's R, times T, and T is unknown here. How long will it take? So we need to find T. First step is to divide by this number 8589. So when I divide 21,337.85 by 8589 using the calculator that you should do, let me do it. 21,337.85 over 8589. You will get 2.484322. Let me say 23, because after this 2 there is a 9. Okay, that's good. Equals E.07t. Now, how can I solve for t? I need to get rid of the e, so I'll apply len to both sides. So when I apply len to both sides, I have to find len of this number, 2.48. So I can use immediately in the calculator, I ask len of the answer. And len of the answer would be 0.910000 equals len e will be cancelled together, and I'll have 0.07t. And then t would be, I have to divide now by 0.07, okay, 0.07. So divide 0.91 by 0.07, you get 13.00000. A lot of zeros. So the answer is 13 years. So remember, to get rid of E, you have to divide first by 8589 to apply len, because the formula is len EX equals X. So when it is len E, if there is a number before E, we cannot use this rule. Find how many tech support groups with 8 members can be selected from 20 available. So we have 20, and we need to select 8 of them, okay, without any arrangement, just selecting 8 out of 20. So that's in fact 20C8. So you can use the calculator. 20, must write 20 first and then shift division. There is a C there. And then write 8, and the answer would be 125970. So that's the answer. What is the inverse of this matrix? Well, the inverse is 1 over the determinant of the matrix, or 2 times 8 minus 15 times 1. 2 times 8, 16 minus 15, that's 1. And then what do we do? 2 and 8, we change their positions without changing the signs. 15, 1, we keep their positions, but we change their signs. That's how we find the inverse matrix. So the correct answer is B. Of course, 1 is just 1. It doesn't affect the matrix. Okay. The slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. Well, we know that the definition of the slope is delta y over delta x if we have 2 points. So I subtract, either you start from this point or this point, you will get to the same answer. If I start from here, -5 minus 1, so it would be +1, and -1, this one now, the x coordinate, -3. So I have -5 plus 1, that's -4 up and -4 down. So the slope is 1, and the correct answer is C. If 3,000 is invested for 5 years, so this is P, and this is the number of years, and this is R.08, compounded quarterly, that's 4 times per year, how much interest in dollar will be earned? He is asking about interest, okay, not the future value. Well, we have a formula for the future value. It is S equals P. This is the compound interest formula, 1 plus R over M times MT. So let us find the future value first. P is 33,000 times 1 plus R is 0.08. M is 4, number of compounded per year. 4, which is M, times T, which is 5, so 20. Okay. Now, if you use the calculator to find this number, you will find 4457.84. But this is not our answer, because this is the future value. To find the interest would be the future value minus the original value. Okay? So S minus B. So if you subtract this amount, 4457.84 minus 3,000, you will get 1,457.84. So the answer here is part B. If 14 men and 6 women are available for the project's tech support group, how many groups are possible that have 5 men and 3 women? So we have 14 men, and we need to select 5 of them, okay? And then we can select out of 6 women, we can select 3 women. So this is how we answer the question. This is the number of groups, because we have 15, 14. We are going to choose 5 from them. We can do that first, then multiply by. This is 2 steps. You use the product rule or the fundamental counting rule. And if you multiply, if you use the calculator, 14C5 times will give you, times 6C3 will give you 40040. So that's the correct answer. How to solve this system, how to write steps? Well, for the coefficient of x is 4, coefficient of x is 3, here 3 negative 4, so adding will not help, multiplying 1 by a number will not help. So I'll multiply here the first equation by negative 3, and I'll multiply the second equation by 4 and solve by elimination. So I'll have negative 12x minus 9y equals negative 21, and I'll have 12x minus 16y equals 4 times 24. Well, I can use the calculator for that. It is 96. Then when you add these two equations, you cancel 12 with 12. You get negative 9y minus 16y. That's negative 25y. 96 minus 21, that's 75. So y would be 75 over negative 25, and that's negative 3. And then I can use either the first equation or the second equation. For example, if I use the first equation, 4x plus 3, and I found out that y is negative 3 equals 7. So 4x would be, this is negative 9. If you take it to the other side, it would be 9 plus 7, it would be 16. Then x would be 16 over 4. So the answer is 14 and negative 3. And of course, you can check your answer using mod 5.1 here. Make sure that this is the correct answer. How long does it take for 6,200 invested? So this is P, invested 0.095. You divide by 100. This is R, annual simple interest, simple. This is not compounded, simple interest to grow up to this one. So this is X, future value. Well, the interest, the formula of the simple interest is I equals P T. But notice I here is the interest. Okay, so you can find the interest first, and if you have the interest here, well, what does he need? How long? So he needs T. Okay, so can I find the interest from here? I know that 6,200 will go up to 16,000, grow up. So the interest would be 16,000 minus 6,200. And this would be 9,800. So in fact, the interest, I have the interest here, 9,800. So I can put it in the formula. And P is the original amount times R, which is 0.095, and T is unknown. How long does it take? So simply T would be 9800 over this one, 6200 times 0.095. And if you use the calculator, you will find that the answer is 16.64 years. Find the future value, S. If 2000 B is invested for 6 years, T R is 0.12 compounded continuously. We said that the formula is P E R T. So P is 2000 e to the power R times T, so 0.12, and T is 6. And you can use the calculator. You have the button E there, you raise it to 0.12 times 6, and you make sure that the future value in dollar will be 4108.87, $4,000. The supply function for a product is given by this, and the demand is given by this. Find the equilibrium quantity. To find the equilibrium quantity, we have to solve these two equations together. So I have this equation, solve it for P. So I can solve the second equation also for P. So I'll have P equals negative Q plus 470. And now we have P here and P here. So I can put the two equations equal. Negative Q plus 470 would be equal to Q squared plus 360. Taking q to the other side, I'll have q squared plus q, and then 360 minus 470, I'll have minus 110. Okay. Equals to 0. I can bring equals to 0 to the other side. You can solve this by modifying 3, or you can factor q minus 10 times q plus 11 equals to 0. Two numbers, their product is negative 1, 1, 0, and their sum is plus positive 1, that's negative 10 and 11. So there are two values of q. Either it is 10, if q minus 10 is 0, then q is 10, or q is negative 11. But this is a quantity, negative 11 is cannot be a real life quantity because it's negative, so we reject it. So the correct answer, q is 10. Once I have q is 10, I can use this equation, for example, to find p. So p would be negative 10 plus 470, it would be 460. So also if you use the other one, this one, you will find the same answer because q is 10, so 100 plus 360 would be 460. So these are the values of p and q and dollars. In dollars. This is also $10. Equilibrium quantity. A ceiling fan manufacturer has total cost. So this is the cost function. Total revenue, this is the revenue function. What is the equation of the profit function? Well, the profit function is defined to be revenue minus cost. Of course, you subtract revenue minus cost, you get profit. So the revenue is 48x. And don't forget that there are two terms in the definition of C. So you need to put parentheses here. So 48x minus 34x, if you subtract 48 minus 34, this would be 14. And then this minus will change the sign of positive 560 to make it negative 560. So there is no need of equal to 0. There is nothing equal to 0 here. He's asking about the product function, and that's the product function. P of x equals 14x minus 560. What is the profit of selling 20 units? So he's asking about profit of 20. Place x by 20. Well, it would be 14 times 20 minus 560. And if you use the calculator to solve this answer, you will find the answer is negative 280. So in fact, there is no profit. There will be loss of $280 if they manufacture or sell only 20 units, manufacture and then sell only 20 units. So here comes the other question: how many fans must be sold then to avoid losing money? Because you are losing money here if you are selling 20. So this means the break-even point, either you put Rx equals to Cx, or if Rx equals to Cx, in fact, the profit will be 0. So you can just put the profit 0. This means that 14x minus 560 is 0. So 14x equals 560, or x equals 560 over 14, and that's 40. So 40 fans should be sold. So here 20 units, we will get negative 280. If you sell 40 fans, the profit would be 0 and no losing money. So after that 41, you will get a profit. The graph of the feasible region of the objective function is given. So this is in the blue, the solution of the problem. And there are two constraints, one with this equation, the red one, x plus 2y equals 19, and one with the blue. Find the minimum value of the objective function and the point at which it exists. Well, of course, this is an unbounded region. It has no maximum, it has a minimum. And the minimum would be at one of the corner points. So you can see that This is a corner point, and this is another corner point, and this is the third corner point of this blue region. So how to find this corner point? Well, you find it from this equation, because this is the line, and this point is the intersection of the y-axis and the blue line. When on the y-axis, x is 0. So you can simply put x 0 and write 2y equals to 29. So y would be 29 over 2. And 29 over 2 is 14.5. So this point exactly, x is 0 and y is 14.5. Here the same. Here it is, this is the point is the intersection of the x-axis and the red line. On the x-axis, y is 0. So if you put y is 0 in the red equation, you will get x equals to 19 and y is 0. So in fact, this is the point 19 and 0. And now we need to find this point. This point is the intersection of the red and the blue. And we need to solve these two equations together. So if I write 3x plus 2y equals to 29, and the other equation, if I multiply by negative sign, so I can add, use elimination. So I'll have 2x, this will cancel, equals 29 minus 19, that's 10. So x is 5. Once x is 5, I can put it here, for example. Then 2y would be 19 minus 5, which is 15. So y is 7. So the coordinates of this point are 5 and 7. So I have 3 corner points. How to decide where is the minimum value? At which point? The idea is I put the corner points here. I have 0, 14.5. I have 5 and 7. And I have 19 and 0. And I substitute all of these 3 points on the function given in the question, which is 7x plus 8y. F equals 7x plus 8y. So 7 times 0 plus 8 times 14.5. You can use the calculator and make sure that the answer is 116. 7 times 5 plus 8 times 7 will give you 91. 7 times 19 plus 8 times 0 will give you 153. What is the minimum value? Well, minimum value is 91. That's the smallest one. Where at the point, at which point? At the point 5 and 7. So this would be the solution to this problem. Of 100 job applications, applicants to the United Nations, 20 speak French, 30 speak German, 16 speak both. Okay. If an applicant is chosen at random, what is the probability that the applicant speaks French? Well, 20 people out of 100 speak French. So the probability is 20 over 100, or just 0.2. What is the probability that the applicant speaks German? So 30 out of 100 speaks German. If you select 1 out of the 100, there is a probability that 30 of them, 0.3, speaks German. What about or French or German? Well, there is a formula for or, which is union. It is 0.2 probability of speaking French plus 0.3 probability of speaking German minus the intersection, probability of the intersection. Where is probability of the intersection here? He says 16 speak both French and German. 16 out of what? Out of 100. So 16 divided by 100, that's 0.16. So if you add these numbers, you will get the probability required. So 0.5 minus 0.16 is just 0.34 when you use the calculator. Use Simplex method to maximize that function subject to these constraints. Well, you know, the first step is to introduce slack variables. S1, change the inequalities to equations, plus S2 equals 40. And then also you write the objective function, you bring everything to the left-hand side, so you'll have negative 3x, negative 20y plus f equals 0. And now you write the table of the simplex method, the initial table, the initial simplex tableau also equals. You put the coefficients of x here, so I have 15, I have 5, and I have negative 3. The coefficients of y, I have 7, then 5, then negative 20. The coefficients of s1, I have 1. There is no s1 here, there is no s1 here. Coefficients of s2, there is no s2 here, there is s2 here, but there is no here. The coefficients of f, 0, 0, and the coefficient of f is 1. And then also I have a line here. Then I put the numbers outside the equations, the right-hand side of the 3 equations. This is the initial simplex tableau. Now, in the simplex method, I have to determine the pivot elements. And to determine the pivot elements, I start by choosing the smallest number here. And the smallest number in the last row is negative 20. So this will give me the pivot column. And then I divide 28, the right-hand side here, by 7 to get 4. And I divide 40 by 5 to get 8. 4 is smaller, so this number would be the pivot element. What to do with the pivot element? I change it to 1. So I have to divide by 7. So I divide the first row by 7. So I'll have 14 divided by 7, 7 divided by 7, 1 divided by 15, 0, 0, 28 divided by 15 is 2. And then I will write the second column as this without any change, or second row, sorry, and then also the third row. Okay, and now the pivot element is 1. I need to use it to make these numbers below it zeros. Notice that this is not a simplex tableau. Okay, this is a step in the middle. So negative 5, I have to multiply row 1 by negative 5, add it to row 2 to change this 5 to 0. Also to change negative 20 to 0, I multiply 1 with 20, so 20 row 1 plus row 3. And now I'll get the new tableau. There is no change in the first row, but there will be a change here. Negative 10 plus 5, negative 5 plus 5, negative 5 times 1 over 14 plus 0. 0 does not change anything because anything times 0 is 0 plus 1 here. Okay. And then negative 5 times 2, that's negative 10 plus 40 is 30. Good. Now what about the last row? Negative 20, negative, yeah. No, of course, 20. 20 minus 20 will be 0. Okay, so 20 times 2, 40 minus 3, that's 37. And 20 plus minus 20, 0. 20 over 14 plus 0, I've just write it, 20 over 14. 0 does not change. 20 times 0 is 0 plus 1. 20 times 2, 40 plus 0 is 40. Is this a final tableau? This is a tableau now, simplex tableau. The answer is yes, because I don't have any negative number here in the third. So that's it. That's the answer. I can say that the maximum value of f is 40. And now remember these are the values of x, y. This is S1, S2, and this is F. So these numbers are given for ones. So Y has 1, 0, 0. So the value of Y here is 2. So Y is 2. X doesn't have 1, 0, 0, so it would be 0. We do that, okay? So S1 here would be also 0, but S2 would be 30. But we need the values of X and Y. So the maximum is 40 when X is 0 and Y is 2. Is this answer correct? Let us check. What is F? F 3X plus 20Y. If I put X 0 and Y 2, I'll get 0 plus 40, so F will be 40, so that's our answer is correct. Also here in the beginning, X is 0 here. There is no X, there is no 1, there is no 1, so X 0, Y 0, S1 is 28, S2 is 40. So if we put X 0, Y 0 in the original equation, we will get F 0, and that's why F is 0 here. The value of F is 0. That's the answer. If one ball is drawn from a bag containing 7 balls numbered from 1 through 7, so I have balls 1, 2, 3 up to 7. What is the probability that the ball's number is odd? So from 1 to 7, these are my balls. Which numbers are odd? 3, 5, 1, 7 is odd. So 4 are odd out of 7. I have in total 7 numbers. So I have 7 balls. If I select one ball, okay, what is the probability that its number is odd? So these are the 7 numbers. 4 of them are odd, so the probability would be 4 over 7. The ball's number is divided by 3. Well, this is divided by 3, and this is divided by 3. The 6 only 2 possibilities, so 2 over 7. What is the probability that the ball's number is odd and even? Well, there is no number which is odd and even together here, so the probability is 0. A bag contains 8 white balls, 4 red balls, 6 black balls. 3 balls are drawn at random from the bag. What is the probability that the first 2 are red and the third is black? If this happened with replacement, let us do it step by step. Let us think about the first ball. We need the first ball to be red. What is the probability that the first ball is red? How many red balls are there? We have 4 red balls. What is the total number of balls? 6 plus 4 plus 8. That's 80. So this is the probability that the first ball is red. Times, we use fundamental principle, which is product rule, because we will do it in 3 steps: first, then second, then third, and we need to do all the steps together, so we use the fundamental concept. Okay, so the second ball now, we need it to be red, 3. Because, is it? Now let us check. If this happened with the replacement, what is the meaning of with the replacement? With replacement means he will put the first ball back. With replacement, so the first ball, which was red, I selected a ball, I found it red, I put it back in the bag. So I'll still have 18 balls, and I still have 4 red balls. Okay. Now the probability of the third ball, I need the third ball to be black with the replacement, so I still have 18 balls. Every time I have 18 balls because I put the ball back. That's the meaning of with replacement. And how many black balls? I need 6. So that would be the answer. And you can use your calculator to write to find the answer, or you can leave it like this. It's really okay if you leave it like this. But the answer would be 4 over 2, 4, 3. What is the probability that the first 2 balls are red, third is black? So the same situation, but without replacement. I am not putting the ball back. So the probability that the first ball is red is the same. But now the second ball, I need it to be red. I already took one of the red balls, so I still have 3 red balls. And I took one of the balls from the box, from the bag, so I still have 17. times the third ball. I need it to be black. I have 6 black. I didn't take any one of them, and I have 16 balls in the bag because I took 2 before that. If you multiply these numbers, you will find that the answer is 1 of 68. How many digit numbers can be formed from these digits? Well, let us check how many digits. 3, 6, 7. We have 7 digits. We need to choose from them, and we need to construct 5-digit numbers. Let us do it step by step, understand the situation. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me choose first the first digit. I need to choose 5-digit numbers, 5 numbers from these 7 numbers. Okay. So first, let me choose the first digit. In how many ways can we choose the first digit? How many numbers are there to choose from? Well, I have 7 numbers to choose from, so I can choose any of these numbers in the first digit. So I have 7 possibilities to choose from. What is the condition? If each digit may be used once in each number, once. So the digit you are using here, you cannot use it again. Okay? That's excellent. So if I took one of these 7 numbers here in the first digit, how many numbers left? Then I have 6 numbers. So the possibilities for the second digit is 6 because I have 6 numbers left. And then 5, and then 4, and then 3. So also using the fundamental rule or product rule or MN rule, it has different names. So if you multiply all of these numbers together, you will get the answer, the possibilities. You have 2,520 possibilities. That's it. I wish you the best, and I hope you enjoyed solving this exam with me.